Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the weekly, that's like scheduled stream, I guess, because I've done a couple more streams this week, and I usually do at least two, but this is like the one that definitely happens, and this is the one before, on the day, a couple hours before Legends of Tomorrow, obviously. So just let me, I'm just tweeting out that I'm streaming, so just give me 2 seconds, and then I'll turn on my webcam, so you're not looking at that orange stream starting soon thing. Okay, sweet. I was just looking for a funny GIF to put on my little, I'm streaming sort of thing. Okay, tweet. That wants to tweet. Okay. Hello, welcome to the stream. Even though I welcomed you earlier on. Anyway, welcome everyone to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. That's probably the best way to put it. So, no real, usually sometimes when we jump into, actually most of the time we jump into them, there's like a couple of set topics, like something might have happened or something. But this time, not really. But we'll still stream for about roughly an hour, give or take 5 or 10 minutes each way. And some people ask me what I meant by that when I say give or take. I mean, like, it might go 5 or 10 minutes over an hour, or it might be 5 or 10 minutes under an hour. So, anywhere, in that region. So everyone, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone that's still coming in made it. Yes, I'm starting this stream about roughly about 45 minutes to an hour earlier than I usually would. Usually I'd start about 7 o'clock my time. It's actually only 6:15, so it's quite early, but it's because I was up and I had to take my dog down to the bathroom. So I thought, what, I'm up, I'm just going to be sitting around doing nothing, so I may as well jump on stream, get over and done with, because I actually have to get some stuff done later in the day before I come back and watch Legends and then do all that stuff. So I thought, get it all out of the way early, and I might be able to get some people in the stream that usually miss out, because sometimes when I start like at 7, it's too late. People are saying, "Oh, I'm going to bed now" and stuff, especially because it's a weeknight. It'd be like a Monday night if it's night where you're watching me at the moment. If you hear stuff in the background, Cal is actually in his crate. It's because he was still a bit sleepy. If he starts moving around, I'll bring him out. But if you hear like a bang, it's just because he's like readjusting himself in regards to like his sleeping position. Yeah, I don't mind early mornings because I'm up. Like, I'm one of those people that wakes up at like 5:30 to 6:30 every morning. You know what I mean? I could go to bed at 3 and I'd wake up at 5:30 or 6. I'm not even. It's just like, I think it's just where my bed is. Like, you can see windows like here. There's a window right in front of me. Like, this is where I'm getting like the light from. You can see it in the mirror right there. There's a window. Obviously, that's my bed. So I think I just get like the morning light. So it just wakes me up. I don't know. That might be it. I don't know. Or maybe it's just weird and I wake up that time. It's just a weird body thing. Anyway, why are we even talking about that? So we have Legends today. Legends looks pretty cool. We're gonna see the Death Totem and maybe an example of how it works. And then we got Flash tomorrow, and there's no Arrow on this week. So it's only Black Lightning's on as well. So we have Flash and Black Lightning tomorrow, and then Legends today. I'll just get into these super chats, and then we'll run through the okay, we got a couple coming through. We'll go through these super chats, and then we'll jump into the like the procedure. Actually, I'll do this procedure of the stream first. So in regards to the chat, just keep it civil, just keep it nice, no over the top swearing. There's been some issues in the past. We were pretty good, and then in the past like 2 or 3 streams, it's just been like chaotic for the most part. So just try and keep it calm in the chat. Just no offensive language. You know what to do. Just don't try and start like little nitpicky fights for no reason. Just have a good time in the chat and respond to the stream. We'll have a good time. That's about it. No spamming of emojis in my name because it's just annoying for the chat. And it doesn't let me read other questions. If you spam your comment with emojis and stuff, I'm actually not going to read it out. I might read it myself, but I'm not actually going to read it out on stream. That's about it. And if you want to help out the channel, you can do it. A couple of people doing now by super chatting. You can either use super chat by clicking this little dollar emblem down here. You go send a super chat, and you can drag up to whatever amount you want, and then you can just type in "We Are the Flash" or "We Are the Fugger Flash" or whatever I just wrote there. And you can either it'll get 100% read out, whatever it is. So if it's just a comment, it'll get 100% read out, or if it's a question, it'll get 100% answered. And if you can't super chat, because some devices in some countries can't super chat, you can click the link at the top of the stream, which does say streamlabs.com/Pagey, and you can donate through there as well. Whew, okay, we got through the intro. I should actually open up Streamlabs just in case we do get any Streamlabs donations throughout the stream, so it doesn't take me 5 minutes later in the stream to get it open. So we'll start off Gaming with Donovan with the $2.99 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Donovan. I'm guessing your name is, if it's Gaming with Donovan. So what do you think about Run Iris Run? When it first got announced, I was very worried because I was like, how are they going to make this work? I was hoping, like, I didn't have as big of an issue as some other people did. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. My biggest fear is that they're going to make it that Iris got her powers through pregnancy, which I was... Callie right there, just shaking about. I don't know if you can see the top of his head there. He's being silly. I'll have to take him out in a second. I'll answer these super chats before I do so, because he might lie down, he might stop. I think he's just a bit restless at the moment. Anyway, at first I was a bit skeptical about the idea, but I wasn't like hating it as much as others. I just was like, okay, I don't really care for this, to be completely honest. But my biggest worry was that Iris would get her powers through pregnancy, because it had been revealed that Cecile was going to get powers through her pregnancy. So I was like, oh god, don't do this. Don't do this. And thank god they didn't. There's been some articles out recently about like Iris saying, or Candace Patton saying like, oh, Barry and stuff will have babies. Hopefully they don't. Like, we don't see the babies being born. I don't mind if like Iris gets pregnant, but hopefully they don't have actually the babies being born. Are you right there, Cal? Okay, I think he stopped. You can probably hear that. I'll finish this question, then I'll take him out. I don't want Iris to have babies on the show. I don't want any of the characters to, because it's just so much to deal with. You know, it's too much to deal with. Look at Arrow. They've got he's like 12 or 13, and they struggle with that. So imagine a baby where they have to be on screen a lot of the time and work around a story around that. It's not going to work. And I think if anyone wants that, they don't want the show to succeed or the show to be good. That's probably the best way to put it, because if you've watched shows before where they do involve children as like children of the main characters or a main character, it doesn't work, and it usually interrupts the flow of the show. So I'm hoping they don't do that. But yeah, Run Iris Run, I think it's just going to be your average standard episode. You know, it's just going to be like one of those what if situations, like what if Iris got speed, or what if Iris was a speedster. So it's just one of those. I guess the big hypocrisy that I know a lot of people are going to pick out, and people are already picking it out from just the trailer, is remember last season, yeah, when Wally got his speed and Iris was like, no, you can't walk around, you can't run around fighting speed criminals. You just got your speed. You don't know how to use it. But then Iris is going to be doing it in this episode, so it's very hypocritical. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe because she gets Barry's DNA, maybe she gets his skill set and his experience. I don't know. They're gonna have to explain it. But overall thoughts, I don't really care for the episode. It's not something I necessarily wanted, because I think Iris is already a character with issues, so I'd rather than fix the issues than put her in this situation. But I don't know. I have to wait and see the episode. You didn't really get too much from the trailer. But thank you very much for that, Donovan. Let me take out Cal for a second. There's stuff over here which I have to jump over, so I'll just put this on the screen for a second while I get Cal out of his crate. Okay, we're back. You can see Cal on the bed now, so he's just, yeah, I think he was just trying to get comfortable on his bed. Anyway, Cal was making a bit of an effort to get him out of the crate. I had to like climb into the crate to get him, because it was at the back and he's very lazy and doesn't like to get out. Corey with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Corey. Do you think the box will bring Malcolm back? So in the Arrow, that's a fairly vague question with no real setup. Anyway, so in the Arrow trailer for you could say next week's episode, well, this week's episode, but Arrow's gone for like 2 weeks. So the next episode, episode 16, these League of Assassins are coming to get this box. This box, I didn't know what it was necessarily. I thought it just might have been something that was given to the Reich in case something happened to the League and they had to like establish it or reassemble it at some point. But some people pointed out that it does look like the box that Malcolm put Vandal Savage's ashes in that crossover from the Flash season 2 and Arrow season 4, which could be the case. I haven't really looked it up, to be specific, but that could be what the box is. I don't think it'll be to bring Malcolm back. If anything, it's just something to do with the league. I don't know if we would see Malcolm being brought back in that way. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I have really no clue about the box. They didn't really specify or really hint at what it could be in the trailer or any like promotional material they released. So I have to wait and see. But some people did bring up or point out that it did look like it was the box that Malcolm put Vandal Savage's ashes in back in that crossover. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Corey. Sorry. Sorry guys, I'm going through these super chats. There's just a lot of them, so I'll get to the what do you call it? the chat, the stream chat, whatever you want to call it, in a second. BTK Predator 9X with a $1.99 super chat. How's it going? Starting the week right. Flash, Arrow, Rocket? What does Rocket mean? Supergirl? I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, BTK Predator. I'm going pretty good. As I said, it's almost 6:30 in the morning now, so I've only been up for a bit. But yeah, my day's going decent. We'll have to wait and see how Legends goes. Hopefully Legends is good. It should be good. It's Legends. Come on. It's only had like one dodgy episode this season, so I'm counting on it being good and having a good day. But thank you very much for that, BTK. Johnny Dabs with a £2 super chat, and then another £2 super chat with a question, and he asks, do you think Black Canary or Black Siren will die? Black Canary is in Dinah Drake. I have a feeling Dinah Drake won't be getting through the season. I don't see how they could keep Wild Dog and Dinah Drake on the show after this season. I just don't think that'd serve a purpose. Like, really, you could argue Dinah Drake wouldn't even serve a purpose if Vigilante wasn't made to be her ex-boyfriend. So, and really, like, I know, like, a lot of people don't like Wild Dog now, and I think he's gotten to a point of unlikability and just, he's dug himself so much of a hole that he won't be liked by people in the future. I liked Wild Dog going into the season, but you couldn't like him at the moment. Like, just his character is just, this doesn't change anything, Hoss. Is that like the line? It's like is that the meme now? Pretty sure that's his line. That's now a meme. And Dinah Drake, once again, is in a pit of unlikability. And a lot of people, like, someone commented on my videos, like, oh, Pagey, she's lost everything. I was like, no, she lost some dude that she hadn't interacted with for years. And that was sort of betraying her and then flip-flopping and then just died in front of her. Like, she'd reconnected with him for like a week or two. You know? Like, she hadn't lost everything. You know, that's like the equivalent of, like, it's not even the equivalent of Oliver, like, of Laurel dying. And Oliver was able to move on pretty quickly, you know? Anyway. So yeah, Dinah's like Dinah and Renee are in like this pit of unlikability. So I think if they were going to kill anyone there, they would kill Dinah, as in Black Canary, or at least just write her off the show. I can't see Laurel or Black Siren dying. I can't see them killing off another Laurel. I just can't see them doing that. So I think she's safe. I think if anyone's going to die out of those two, it will be Dinah Drake. But thank you very much, Johnny, for those two super chats. Kong XI or Kongsi, I don't know how you'd pronounce that. With the Danish krone, I want to say 50 Danish krone super chat. Just wanted to say I really enjoy your content. Thank you very much for that, Kong. It's nice to hear that. Like, comments like that is actually like stuff I like to hear, instead of, oh my god, Pagey, your theory sucked. Well, like, were you born in like mud? Like, what? Actually, that's a terrible. What was I even going for there? It's like, were you dropped on your head as a baby or something like that? That's a really nice comment. Thank you very much for that, Kong. I much appreciate it. God, my mouse is on the fritz. It must be low battery or something. John Sims with a $2 super chat. It's my birthday. Happy birthday to John Sims. Get some happy birthdays going in the chat. Hopefully you have a good day. If you watch Legends, I guess you're having a good day because you can watch Legends on your birthday. And yeah, so happy birthday to John. And hopefully you had a good day, depending on where you live, I guess. I guess it's probably night or evening where you are, so hopefully you had a good birthday. Or if it's in the morning where you are, hopefully you're going to have a good birthday. Anthony Beltier or Beltray, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, with a $1.99 super chat. Episode 7 of Titans is called Jason Todd. Yes, I actually read that he was coming into the show. I didn't know the episode was actually called Jason Todd, though. And he's going to be Red Hood. If people want to correct me in the chat, is he going to be Red Hood? Let me know in the chat, because they said that Jason Todd's going to be in there. But is he going to be Red Hood, or is he going to be Robin? Because Robin, he was the Robin after Dick Grayson. So if Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing, would Jason Todd be Robin, or would he be Red Hood, or would this episode focus on him becoming Red Hood, or something like that? Just let me know in the chat. I'm not too sure. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat, Anthony, and the info, because I didn't know the episode was actually called Jason Todd. But Titans is working up to be a pretty good show. Oh, it's sounding like it's going to be a pretty good show for like DC Comics fans, heaven, if you want to call it that. It seems like they're doing some really cool stuff, especially if you just like the Titans characters or the Bat family, I guess. I'm just waiting to see if any. Oh, he will be Red Hood. Okay, that's awesome. So I thought he might have been Robin. So maybe this. Okay, that's interesting. I'm excited to see that then. I'm actually quite excited to see that. I was excited before, but now I'm even more excited because they could do some interesting stuff with Red Hood. Anyway, Alex D. Figueroa. I think I pronounced that right, Figueroa. Because actually I know someone with that last name. Figueroa Jr. We've got a junior in the house. With a $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Alex. What are your thoughts on Black Lightning? There are rumors that the CW only wants 4 Arrowverse shows at a time. Would you replace a show for Black Lightning? Black Lightning overall, really enjoy. I think there's only been one episode which was average, if borderline like boring, which was maybe like 2 or 3 episodes ago. Yeah, I can't remember which, but it was just like nothing really seemed to happen. But every other episode apart from that has been like really entertaining. Last episode was insane, and I'm excited to see what the fallout from that is in this episode, in this week's episode. If there is an episode this week, hopefully there is. But last episode was insane. If you're not watching Black Lightning, I definitely recommend it. And there's rumors that the CW only wants 4 Arrowverse shows at a time. Would you replace the show for Black Lightning? Probably not, because I think Black Lightning is working for a reason. That's because it's outside of the Arrowverse. I think at a point, if it got brought into the Arrowverse and crossovers and stuff, that'd be fine. But at the moment, I think it's working better. Because it's working better than it could have been if it was in the Arrowverse, because they would have felt the need to connect it. So I actually prefer it outside the Arrowverse. It feels much different than the CW shows. Like, if you didn't know, like, Black Lightning was originally made for it was originally like pitched to Fox, like where Gotham's on. So it does feel like if anything, it'd be like sort of connected to not connected to Gotham, but it feels like a Fox show rather than a CW show in regards to its tone and what it's going for. So yeah, I think it works better outside of the Arrowverse, and if you can stay like that forever, then it's good. And if it connects to the Arrowverse at some point, that's still good. It doesn't really bother me either way, as long as the show is just good to watch. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts. But thank you very much for that, Alex, for the super chat and the question. Gaming with Donovan coming back with another $1.99 super chat. I only watch Flash, so what you talking about? What was your original question? It was about the Run Iris Run. I can't even remember. What was I talking about? What was I? Because I think you were talking about the Run Iris Run, so... Oh, no, okay. I think you're talking about, because I was talking about the children. Arrow has... Oliver Queen has who's obviously Green Arrow, has his son, who's like, what, 12 or 13, roughly, something like that. So... he sort of works, but doesn't work at the same time. They sort of struggle to fit him in and make him relevant. So... And he's like 12 or 13, he'd be doing his own stuff. So if they brought a baby into the Flash, the baby would have to be around either Iris or Barry 100% of the time, because, you know, it's a baby. And it'd be pretty crap parenting if they were just leaving the baby do its own thing half the time. So that's why I don't want the baby to come in. Like, that's why I think if they're going to introduce children into the show for Barry and Iris, you bring them from the future. You bring Tornado Twins from the future back into the show, and then just like, we're your children and stuff like that. You don't actually have Iris give birth. Like, don't have Iris have the children on the show, so we see the living baby. Like, here's a baby. Don't do that. You bring them from the future, so at least you know in the future that Barry and Iris have children. And then in like the last season of the show, Iris gets pregnant, so you know that those children, and they could say, oh, it's twins. You're like, oh, okay, it's those twins that we saw in whatever season it was. Then so it references back to that. That's how you do it. Hopefully the show doesn't go down the stupid route. I'm fearful that they will. Just because they seem to be doing a lot of silly things of late in the past 2 seasons. But I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they go with a smart choice, and if you're going to introduce the children, you bring them back from the future. And that's how they're introduced, and you get to know them and stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully that's what they do. I'm sort of having like preemptive fears about it, but we'll have to wait and see. Johnny Dabs with the £2 super chat once again. Are they making new Green Arrow comic with Laurel? With Black Canary, like Dinah Laurel Lance. Yeah, she's been in it since Green Arrow Rebirth. The current run has ended. Benjamin Percy, who was writing Green Arrow, wrote his final issue. I haven't read it. I don't read single issues. I read like trade paperbacks, so when they're like in volumes and stuff, which I prefer. I actually retweeted a tweet earlier, someone saying it, and I was like, yeah, I 100% agree with that, because single issues are shit. I personally, I cannot be bothered, because I like to have the physical comic. Like, I like turning the page. I don't like reading on like an iPad or on the computer. I hate that. So I like having the physical thing. So I like going to buy the volume when it comes out, like once every couple of months. And like, that's what I like doing. So I hate the single issues, and I used to buy them. It's just such a thing. It's just such an annoying thing. But yeah, like there's a new run starting. I don't know when it starts and who's writing it necessarily. But the Green Arrow Rebirth has been with Black Canary since the first issue. She's not in every single issue, from what I remember. There's issues where she's not there. Like, she might be referenced, but she's not actually in it. But yeah, you should read it. It's really... Green Arrow Rebirth is probably... I think it's my favorite, to be completely honest. Like, Flash was good, and then Flash did something weird, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. But yeah, I think Green Arrow has been the most consistent in regards to what I'm reading, at least. But thank you very much for that, Johnny. Sorry. Daniel Sorokin with a $1.99 super chat. Hey, Pagey, what is your opinion on Black Lightning? Oh, you might have just joined. I just gave it, but overall, I'll give it again. Sorry for those that are watching and have already heard me say this. Black Lightning overall for me is a really good show. It's only had like one episode, which was like average, to like not that great. But every episode apart from that has been really entertaining. I think the cast is extremely likable. Tobias Whale is a pretty threatening villain, and you're sort of like. If you've watched it, the last episode, I was not expecting like a lot of that to happen. I couldn't believe some certain character went down. But it's pretty insane. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I definitely recommend watching it. If you haven't watched it yet. Like, if you're outside of America, it's on Netflix. Like, it doesn't get released the same week. It gets like released the week after. But you can still watch like most of the episodes now if you're outside of America and have Netflix. But yeah, enjoying Black Lightning. And I'm excited to see how it ends. So we'll jump into some of the what do you call them? Comments in the stream chat. Do you think Savitar and Mallus are one and the same? Hopefully not. I really don't want Mallus to be Savitar. Hopefully Savitar burns and dies with season 3. Your content gonna be ruined after the CW shows stop airing. I don't know. I didn't see. That's a pretty dickhead comment to write, Flash 20208, but whatever. We are the Careless Whisper fans. Yes. Shout out to Careless Whisper. Love that scene. I actually posted on Twitter before. I wonder if we get. I don't think you'd hold up. Getting another scene like that, but I like that one. Happy birthday to Seth Norton. Happy birthday, mate. Are you still going to start a podcast? I don't know. If we're going to start the podcast, like, if people didn't know, there was the idea that a podcast could be started. So, like, you know how we live stream now, there'd just be like a well set out and organized podcast, possibly, where it'd be probably myself and probably DJ Eric. We don't know who would necessarily upload it. It might go back and forth, or it might be specifically for one person's channel. And then you bring on one guest. So it's a back and forth between me and Eric, and then someone else. But we've got to work out the details, whether people would want it, and stuff like that. But if people would want the podcast, it would probably be like half an hour to an hour. So it'd be almost like a live stream, just much more organized, and be getting straight to the topics and stuff like that. And we might live stream it, or it could be recorded beforehand and then uploaded. We don't really know. But it just matters how we want to work it out and if we want to go forward with it. But if people want to see it, then we'll do it. And yeah. Sorry, I just scrolled down and stuff. Where is Cal? Cal is, you can see him. You can't actually, yeah, it's because my arm's blocking him. So he looks like part of the bed, but that's him right there. There's Cal. You can see his tail. And then there, he's having a bit of a nap. Have you seen pictures of Sarah being controlled by the death totem? Yeah, I have. She's becoming like the death witch or something. So she's basically like the earth witch, but of the death totem, I guess. The death totem is in today's episode. If you watch the trailer, you can see the death totem on like, I don't know, say this is, what the hell? Say that's the end of Elvis's guitar. The death totem's like there. So you can see the death totem. So go back and watch the trailer for Legends this week for today's episode, and you can see the death totem on the end of Elvis's guitar. So Elvis is killing people literally with his music, or he's doing something with the death totem because of his music. When will Young Justice start? Probably the same time that Titans comes out on that streaming service. I'll probably release like Titans and then Young Justice at the same time. And then I guess the previous seasons of the other shows, so people have actually stuff to watch and it feels like it's worth watching. Do I watch Gotham? Yeah, I actually watched the most recent episode of Gotham last night before I went to bed. And it was really good. Like, they even, well, I actually won't say what happened just in case people haven't watched it, but I wasn't expecting some stuff to happen, but it was pretty cool. When does Jax come back to Legends? He's meant to be coming back in the finale. I don't necessarily know what his role is. But yeah, he's meant to be back in the finale at some point. Are we going to see any Supergirl anytime soon? I need to know. Like, Supergirl videos on my channel? I don't really do Supergirl bonus videos, but Supergirl's going to be back in, like, what, 5 weeks or something? So that's when you should expect it. But yeah, we'll just jump into these super chats. So Amethyst Willow with the $2 super chat. Where is the Titans animated seasons? I can't find it. Well, there's Teen Titans. Is that the one you're wanting? The Titans show is going to be live action that comes out later this year. And then, like, anything you want, like, sort of related to Titans, you can probably watch Young Justice Season 1 and 2. That's probably the most related. Like, you could say Teen Titans, but Teen Titans is very anime. Like, they do adopt some stuff from the comics, but I think probably Young Justice is probably the best way to go. And then you'd be caught up for Young Justice Season 3 when that comes out at the same time as the Titans animated show, most likely. So that's probably what I would go for. Young Justice, it's on Netflix, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Isn't Young Justice on Netflix? I think it's on my Netflix. I think it's on Netflix in Australia, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw it the other day. But let me know in the comments if it's on American Netflix or not. D. Stingley with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, D. Stingley. Mystery Girl is Jenny Ognats. From the hair to the suit Iris will be wearing. Iris will pass it down to her. I would say that, but the suit is literally just Iris's jacket. Like, that's what I was thinking going into it. But if you watch the trailer, the suit is literally, when Iris is at the hospital with Barry at the beginning of the trailer, she's wearing this jacket, and the suit she's wearing at the end is literally that jacket, but like folded over both ways. So that's all it is. So I was like, unless they like do something to it to make it more friction proof or something. I don't know what they're doing with it. We'll have to wait and see. If they pass down that suit, it'd be a pretty shitty suit to hand down, to be completely honest, because it's just a leather jacket you'd buy at the shop that Iris has got at the shop. It's not like some like well, not high tech, but like well designed suit like the Flash or Kid Flash or Jesse Quick or something like, or even Jay Garrick and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The Mystery Girl is going to be like constantly like brought up, like who it is. Like, the thing is, she's been appearing in every 4 episodes, so if you're going to go by that logic, she'll be back in episode 19, and then episode 20 is an episode called Therefore She Is, so maybe at episode 19, we get like a massive hint to who she is, and then episode 20 is a big focus on her, maybe? I don't know. They're filming episode 19 now? No, they might be filming episode 20 now. So if she's there, I don't know, we might get some set pictures or something. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, around then we should like fully know, or at least get a massive, massive hint as to who she is. Or at least get down whether she's good or evil. Go down one of those roads. But yeah, but Johnny Dabs with the £5 super chat. Now I get hate for it. I know I get hate for it, sorry. But I like Laurel and Oliver together. If that girl's Dawn, thinking we see her brother Don. And who do you think Mallus is? I like Laurel and Oliver together as well. And if that girl's Dawn, do you think we'll see her brother Don, might I say? Maybe. It just matters if it's necessary. Like, she could just reference him. I think the big question is, will she reference him? Because I think referencing is probably the best way to go. I don't think it's necessary for him to show up unless it's a later season. Like, if it's this season, then no, I don't think there's necessarily any point to bring Dawn in if she is Dawn. But in the future, like next season and stuff, if she's still relevant, then yeah, bring Dawn in if they want to, and then work it around. But yeah, and then who do I think Mallus is? Mallus, I don't think we're necessarily going to know who Mallus is. I think it's just going to be, we know people that are connected to Mallus and his stuff like that. Cal, what are you doing? Just moving around. Just moving around. Getting a new sleeping spot. Yeah, behind me. Good boy. Yeah, I think Mallus is not going to be necessarily someone that's too familiar with us unless he gets revealed. Unless we start meeting someone in the next couple of episodes, it could be Mallus. But yeah, I think it's just more the people that we've met throughout the season could be connected to him in more ways than we think. That's probably the best way to word it. DJ Eric came in to demonetize the stream. Damn you, DJ Eric. That's a bit of an asshole move. I should be expecting that yellow button on the side of this stream. I hope Jax has the fire totem. Well, it's revealed that Mick's gonna have the fire totem, at least for the first episodes that the fire totem is fixed. But Jax could get it at the end of the season. But yeah, you never know. Mick might die, and Jax will inherit the fire totem. Who knows? Do you want the new Team Arrow to leave or stay next season? Probably leave, just so Arrow just gets a smaller cast. Like, Flash is getting to that area where there's just too many people on Team Flash. So, and Arrow just has always had that issue since, like, what season... Well, mainly the last two seasons, season 5 and this season. So, hopefully they can just reduce that number. I don't really mind if Curtis stays, just because I think he actually is relevant to other plots that are going on. But Renee and Dinah, I really could not give a crap if they left, to be completely honest. I just finished the first season of iZombie, and I can say that it is the most underrated show on the CW. Yes, 100%. iZombie actually airs today after Legends. I'm excited to watch that episode. Yeah, if you're not watching iZombie, what are you doing? You should definitely go watch it. If Arrow ends, will they still come back for crossovers? Probably not, unless it's like maybe like Felicity or something. Like Stephen and Mel won't come back. If Arrow ends, he won't be like on hand to come back for crossovers and stuff. Like that good reference, they could, but he won't actually be in there if like Arrow's over. Like if anything, it'll be like the what do you call the like side characters, like maybe Felicity or something showing up. You heard that Kevin Smith is going to be in a Flash episode. Yeah, he's going to be in the Flash episode that he's directing. He's going to be a security guard with, you know, Jay and Silent Bob. So you've got Jason Mewes, who plays Jay, and then obviously Kevin Smith plays Silent Bob. So you're going to have them, not Jay and Silent Bob playing security guards, but you're going to have Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes playing security guards in that Flash episode, which should be pretty funny. I don't necessarily know how many. They'll probably have lines, probably like 1 or 2 lines each, but should be funny. Like Jason Mewes was in the first episode that Kevin Smith directed back in season 2, and he had a funny bit where he was just driving his mum's car and stuff and claiming to be like this high roller and stuff, which was pretty funny. So I'm excited to see that cameo. I was excited to hear that. Bit of a spoiler, I guess, but it just gets me more excited for the episode, so I don't really mind too much. Have I seen Jessica Jones? Yeah, I finished it not last night, the night before. I really enjoyed it. There's maybe like, I can't really think of an episode I didn't like. Maybe like one of the first couple of episodes. It just didn't really feel like much happened. But like the season played out in a way I didn't think it would play out. It set up a lot of stuff for next season of Jessica Jones, whenever we're going to get that in like 10 years time, whenever that happens. But yeah, I thought it was good. If you haven't watched it, if you watched the first season and you relatively enjoyed it, I think you'll enjoy this season even more. Like obviously, you don't have Kilgrave in there as the villain, but I think as the season overall, I think it's a better season. Maybe just me personally, but I think as an overall show, as a season, I think it just worked better than the first one. Even though the first one I really did enjoy as well. But definitely watch Jessica Jones season 2 if you haven't yet. The mystery girl is called Nora. Was that revealed or something? I don't know. That'd be a bit lame. I think regardless if it isn't Dawn Allen, people would be disappointed. I think it'd be like the anti Savitar thing. You know, when like because everyone's thinking that the girl is Nora. Not Nora. God, you got that name in my head. Everyone thinks that the girl is Dawn Allen. Everyone's set on that, and I think everyone's going to be disappointed if she isn't Dawn come the end of it. And it's going to be like the opposite of Savitar. Like everyone thought at one point and like was set on it being Future Flash, because Savitar kept saying it. They're making it so obvious. It's like, is he actually just Future Barry? And everyone was like, no, that would suck. And that's what ended up happening. So it's sort of like the anti-Savitar. Like everyone thought Savitar was Future Barry, but no one wanted it to happen. But everyone thinks that this girl is Dawn Allen and wants it to happen. So yeah, I think if they don't do Dawn Allen, people will be disappointed unless it's like worked in a really cool way and it's someone else. Stephen Hines with the comment, "You're dumb," without the B. So, wow, Stephen, great spelling there. I don't think I have to say more there. If Arrow ends, will it still be the Arrowverse? Probably, because it's Arrow started it all. Flashverse doesn't sound that great. Arrowverse like rolls off the tongue a bit better. Nora shouldn't be here. Yeah, but like that can be referenced to a lot of different things. Like not everything that Barry said will be said in this season. Like there's a lot of stuff that he said there that wasn't said in previous seasons, and we've heard none of it. I don't think we've heard none of it said. Like you could say this house is bitching, but people are referencing it because Barry was saying it. Someone actually hasn't said it that wasn't like there. Yeah. Finesse by Bruno Mars. This isn't Spotify, Seth Norton. Unless someone was asking what's your favourite song or something. Ugh. Sorry for yawning, but if you're here from the beginning, you know I only woke up just before I started the stream. Sorry for clicking, I'm just clearing some stuff that was on my screen. Okay, sweet. Thank you, Red M. Thank you very much for that compliment, if you want to call it. Will multiple people die in Legends? I don't think anyone will die in Legends, just because Martin Stein died early in the season. Like, they might kill, as I said, like, Mick's meant to be having the Firestone, or the Fire Totem, and Jax is coming back for the finale, so people might think that, he might get the Fire Totem and become, like, a form of Firestorm again. But wouldn't, like, Mick have to die for that to work? Unless he, like, willingly... I don't know. I have to wait and see that. I don't think anyone will die, but there is a possibility that one person could die. I wouldn't be able to predict who it is, though. Where did Leo go? He went back to Earth X. I wonder if we'll see them again, like the Ray and Citizen Cold. I think Captain Cold's meant to be in episode 19 of this season of The Flash. I don't know how it would work. He's meant to be back for one episode. Episode 19 is called Fury Rogue or Rogue Fury. I think it's Fury Rogue. Something like that, which hints, Rogue, Captain Cold. So we could be seeing that happen. I was meant to get some information on that, but I haven't got it yet, and I'm guessing it's because it hasn't been, like, filmed publicly. So yeah. Don't you hate the constant mind transfer that DeVoe does? Sort of. I don't think I had it much as other people do, just because it makes sense. Like, the bodies are getting drained of energy, just like his original body was. So it makes sense he has to keep transferring bodies. It's just like, think of think of DeVoe as like a parasite, and once he's feeded off the host so much, he has to move on to another host. So that's basically what DeVoe is. So if you stop thinking as if he's just like going to different minds for the sake of it, and think of him as like almost like a parasite, then I don't think you can get really mad with what's happening on the show. Because that's basically what he is. He's feeding off the body to maintain his power set, and some bodies can handle it longer than others. Obviously, Dominic was able to hold it for a bit longer, but Dominic's body wasn't handling like all those powers that DeVoe got at the end of episode, was it 12 or 13? Cal's snoring. I don't know if you can hear it. Being loud. You're being loud. Being loud. So just think of it as like a parasite rather than just like a dude that loves transferring to different bodies. That's probably the best way to go. I'm interested to see how long he's in Izzy's body for, because he's got another ability in there as well. So is DeVoe a good villain or not? I think he's decent. I think he's like, I like to think wait till the end of the season, because Zoom could have possibly been a better villain than Reverse Flash, but his end game sucked. Cal making himself noticed. His end game sucked. So which sort of like took him down a bit. So I'm gonna wait till the end of this. I think it's the best to wait till the end of the season before you judge a season completely. That's probably the best way to go. You showing off? What show do you like more? Overall, I probably get most excited for Flash, but that's really close to Arrow. Like, both of them shows I'm really excited for each week. This season, though, Legends easily. I'm, like, looking forward to Legends the most this season because it's just been the best consistently. So, yeah. Yeah, like basically, if you've watched Agents of Shield, it's almost like Hive, like what Hive was doing. So, that's the way I look at it. Some people might disagree with me, but in regards to DeVoe, I look at him as like a parasite, and he's just moving from host to host, which you know, coincidentally is always a bus metahuman, but it's obviously a part of his plan for that, for those bus metahumans to be there. So that's why it makes sense that maybe Ralph or Barry would be his last target, even though Ralph is a bus metahuman. Either or he'd be happy with because Ralph can like withstand it, and then Barry can regenerate at the same time as well. So, yeah. Supergirl has potential though. Supergirl's just got like, I think, like, one of my biggest criticisms about Supergirl is it's like writing. Its writing is like, it has really good characters which interact really well, but the writing isn't that good. Like, I think Legends has the best writing room at the moment just because they're working so well. Funnily enough, I think Arrow is the second best. I think Arrow is moved up. I don't even know what's happening there if they brought someone else in. But even though Arrow is a bit dodgy, I still think I'm not as frustrated with the writing as a lot of as I am with other shows. Flash and Supergirl easily have the worst writing rooms of the past 2 seasons. Flash feels like it changed writing rooms the middle of last season. Like, it just felt like the writing was... The first half of last season was written by one group, and the second half was just written by just a completely different group, and it's moved on to season 4. I don't know what's happened with the Flash writing. It's all over the joint. It just seems like it just felt like they brought in a completely different writing team. I don't know what's going on. I'm bringing out a video. I was going to bring it out last weekend. I'm bringing it out this weekend, and I'm changing the video up a bit. Basically, the first portion of the video is what season 4 got wrong so far and what should change going to season 5. And then the back half of that video, or like the second portion of the video, is going to be split into 2 portions. Not necessarily like 1 half and 2 halves, because there'll be a different amount of times for each portion. But the second portion will be how the Flash different story points should have played out from seasons 1 to the current time, and how it could have produced a better show for the current day. This is a little teaser there, but one of the changes from seasons 1 to 4 is that Iris doesn't learn that Barry is the Flash in season 1. I think, in hindsight, looking back, worst choice they could have made, because it set them on a path where Iris learned that Barry was the Flash way too early. And I think it works better in the comics when Iris doesn't know Barry's the Flash. That's for me personally. In the comics, I think it's better when Iris doesn't know Barry's the Flash, and it's not the Flash and Iris, it's Barry and Iris when they're interacting in the comics. But yeah. That's just me personally, but that's a little teaser of that video for this weekend, so hopefully you guys support that when it comes out. Sam with the $5 super chat, thank you very much for that. The super chat, Sam. Saving money this stream, laughing emoji face, that's okay, Sam. What do you think is in the box that Malcolm left behind? Glad to see Cal is making more appearances. God, he's got the rabbit behind him. He's showing off. Yeah, I was talking about that before. I think in the box, is either something to like reignite the League of Assassins, or some people were saying that Vandal Savage, that was the box, sorry, that Malcolm put Vandal Savage's ashes into. I don't know if it's the same box or not. I haven't really looked back to it. But if that's the case, then that's interesting. I wonder what they'll do there. But I think it's just something to do with the League of Assassins and like rebuilding it up. And yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. I think that's basically to sum it up what we covered earlier on. I'll just scroll up and get some comments from the chat. What do you think the writers mean by life-changing for Arrow's 6x16? Is that the thing where Nyssa talks to Oliver? I think it was in the synopsis. I I don't know. Your guess is probably as good as mine. I think it's very vague. It didn't really give a hint as to what it could be completely honest. Is the writing for Iris bad? The writing for Iris is quite bad. It's quite bad. I feel bad for like I feel bad for Candice Patton because she's getting in a position where Emily Bett Rickards was in Arrow season 4, where her writing was so bad, but she was the main player, so it just stands out like a sore thumb, her writing. Because like Caitlin's writing isn't good this season, Cisco's writing isn't necessarily good this season. I don't even think Barry's writing is necessarily good this season, but like he's the Flash, so everyone just sort of gives him a pass. But because Iris is put into this like central position where she's like leading Team Flash and her writing makes no sense, and she's put into these weird situations, she sticks out like a sore thumb, like Felicity did in season 4, and arguably the back half of season 3 of Arrow as well. So yeah, like a lot of people say, like Candice Patton wasn't getting hate from the beginning. I don't think she was. It just seems like she was getting hate online of recent, basically the back half of last season and this season. And it's because Iris as a character basically sucks now. She's not even a character, she's a plot device. I've been saying that basically last season and this season she's a walking plot device. And that'll continue if they don't change her writing up, which we'll go over in that video on the weekend. I don't really want to talk about Iris anymore, to be completely honest, because I just say the same stuff and it just seems like I'm repeating it. To sum up, Iris, change needed ASAP. Won't happen this season, but hopefully next season they do something about it. Doma Drama with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Doma, or Double D's. I think I've been calling you in the past couple of streams. HR saved Iris, so Barry didn't mess with the time. Yeah, that was my bad in the last video. It's just that I think in that portion of the video I was going off the cuff. I can't really show you. Actually, I might be able to show you on my phone. Do I have my notes? Because I'm on the iCloud, the cloud. So I might have my notes for did I delete it? I deleted it. Okay, so you can see some of my notes there. Like that's a note for this is for the Earth 3 Speedster videos. So there are my notes. Just don't start typing. What's going on? Anyway, so you can see the notes there. Just scroll up and stuff. That's notes for a video. Like I don't read them off my phone. They usually appear on my computer screen. But at points I'll just put like ... at the end of a note section, and that means like continue on and just sort of like off the cuff, like any extra thoughts that you might have thought of while you're reading that out. So I can just end it there. I can go off the cuff. And when I was talking about HR, when I was talking about Barry saving Iris, that was off the cuff. So it's just off the top of my head, and I just didn't mention or bring it up that HR was actually the one that sort of changed the timeline. But I think it still fits in for what I was going for there. I think you could swap them around and it still makes sense. But it was my bad. I just didn't mention Barry. I just mentioned, I did mention Barry. I didn't mention HR, sorry. I don't hate Iris. I actually want to like Iris. I really, really want to like Iris because I think Candice Patton is really likable. And I think it's the same with Emily Bett Rickards. Like, I think she's a likable person. But it's not like some other, I won't mention any other people in the Arrowverse, but some people just aren't likable. They just don't seem like likable people, which in turn makes you not really want to like their character. But like, I want to like Iris, but it makes it so hard. Like, I liked her in season 1, 2, and I guess the first half of 3. I can't remember too much what she was doing in the first half of 3, to be completely honest. I can't remember, to be completely honest. Like, really, the only thing I can remember about Iris from season 3 is that she was the person that Savitar killed and what Barry was trying to stop. But season 1 and 2 of Iris, I enjoyed her. I still think, like, as I said, that tease for next week's, or this weekend's video, I might say, she shouldn't have known that Barry was the Flash in season 1. Like, she should have just been oblivious to that even being an option. Like, Barry couldn't be the Flash. Look at Barry. He couldn't be the Flash. That should have been Iris in season 1. And actually, I'll give you a bit more of a tease because it puts this in better context. This is like a tease for what they should have done with Iris in season 1 and 2. Iris doesn't learn that Barry's the Flash in season 1. She doesn't know. But she is there for the fight between between Reverse Flash and Barry, in which Eddie kills himself. So she knows that Eddie killed himself to save the Flash. She knows that. Eddie killed himself to stop Reverse Flash from killing Flash, but Iris doesn't know Flash is Barry at that point. And then in season 2, Iris and Barry start dating. They actually do start. No, they start getting closer together. Like Iris is still doing what she was doing when she was dating people, and like Barry still dates Patty Spivot for that part. But in the back half, they start dating and stuff like that, and he reveals to Iris that he's the Flash. But this is in like the last episode or two, and what does Barry do at the end of season 2? Flashpoint. He starts Flashpoint. So then he does the Flashpoint timeline. We're in there for 3 episodes. There's some stuff in that I would have done in like those 2 or 3 episodes of Flashpoint, which I won't mention now. I'll save that for that video. But then when he comes out of Flashpoint, he thinks that Iris knows that he's the Flash, but that's changed. That's one of the things that have slightly changed from him messing with Flashpoints, that Iris doesn't know that he's the Flash anymore. She's oblivious to the topic. Everything else has still happened, but one thing that she doesn't know is that Barry is the Flash. And back in season 2, that was one thing that was like daunting on Barry, and it was like a big moment in that season that he actually told her, and it took a lot of heart from him to do. But it's one thing that changed from doing Flashpoint. So Barry's basically back to like, you know, ground zero, I guess, if you want to call it, in regards to being honest with Iris about him being the Flash. And then it builds up into season 3 where he gets more comfortable, and then he reveals to Iris once again that he's the Flash, and proposes to Iris. But then it all flashes back to Iris that, you know, Eddie was the one, like Barry was the Flash when Eddie sacrificed himself and stuff like that. It'll make more sense when I'm going off the top of my head. Like I have notes written now, but I'm going off the top of my head now in regards to all of that. But it will make sense when I flash it out in that video. And I think when you watch that video, be like, man, that would be pretty cool if that is what happened throughout the season's run. But I can't blame the writers for that, because they're writing season to season to season. I'm going from like current day, present day, and looking back and saying I would have changed that, I would have changed that. It's easy looking back. When you're in like the present moment writing, it's hard to write that. It's hard to predict what's going to happen in the future, especially when the writing team is changing constantly. You just got to write with what you have in present day. So I can't really blame the writers for that. But if I could go back in time and change certain things on the show, that video will explain what I would have changed. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If it was confusing, you just have to wait for that video on the weekend, which will explain everything much better. But Sam with the $2 super chat, thank you very much for that, Sam. Next 4-channel crossover time and date. Well, when did we do it last? Was it 2 weekends ago? So it should be in like when was it? It was on Eric's channel, wasn't it? So I'm gonna say it's in the next 2 weeks, maybe. I actually might get in our group chat that we do that. I just might go, when the hell is the next crossover stream? Sorry, I'm just typing on Twitter. Okay, there we go. Hopefully, I might get an answer before the stream ends. But we'll have to wait and see. Where's my live stream? Here we go. Why don't you make Black Lightning reviews? I've explained this in streams before. It's because there's little to no stuff to break down from the show, and there seems to be little to no interest from viewers either. Like it's like in regards to, like every channel that seems to do Black Lightning, it's just like not the best response. So I think it's more of a show that people watch, but they don't necessarily want to watch on YouTube. Yeah. Am I gonna cover Cloak and Dagger? Probably not. I really have little to no interest on that show, but I haven't really watched anything from the show. Like I've watched the first trailer that was released, but apart from that I haven't really watched much on it. So I don't really know much about the characters. Like I've heard them referenced and stuff and different things, but yeah, I haven't really watched anything, read anything in regards to them. So I might watch it. I'll probably wait to see what people are thinking before I start watching it. Just because there's other shows, like there's heaps of shows I want to watch, and there's just only so much time in a day to watch certain things and do other things as well. So I think the end of The Flash should be Barry going through a brutal divorce with Iris. That'd be a happy ending, wouldn't it? How long have you been doing videos? What's it? It's 2018. So when did I start doing Flash videos? I can tell you if I open up my video manager. I can... Come on. I can tell you the date I uploaded my first video. Can I go oldest? I can't go oldest. Wow. I think if I go to my channel, give me 2 seconds. Someone else could do this, I guess, but I'll do it. Just because I don't like to be tell people what to do. So let me sort by date added oldest. When did I upload my first video? Okay, let's have a look. God, my thumbnails back then, they were different. April 16th, 2015. But that video is unlisted. So my real first video I ever uploaded, you'll see on the channel if you go there, is actually a Daredevil video. Daredevil Season 2, 5 villains we could see. Which is April 17th, 2015. So, what, almost 3 years ago. So, in basically exactly a month will be my 3-year anniversary on YouTube. But in regards to my first, I guess what, my first Arrow video was uploaded on April 19th, and my first Flash video was uploaded on April 23rd. So, yeah, we're getting close to like 3-year anniversaries of certain characters appearing and stuff. But God, my thumbnails back then, they were interesting. Anyway, who do you want as Supergirl Season 4 villain? Honestly, I don't even know. I didn't even know what they could do. Could you make a Black Lightning review when they yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a complete Season 1 review of Black Lightning. That's what I'm doing with Black Lightning. Because I wasn't able to do weekly reviews, I'll probably do like in-depth, maybe not in-depth, so it's like half an hour, but like a pretty well in-depth Season 1 review with spoilers and stuff. Like, but not detailing every episode, you know what I mean? Just like the big points that happen that I was like, oh, what the hell? Who is the better, the Flash or Green Lantern? I prefer Flash, but they're pretty close. I do like Green Lantern a lot. Do you think Caitlyn and Killer Frost would split into two? Like, oh no, they'll be there. Like, it'll just be like someone will gain control. Whether it be Caitlyn has control completely, or it be that Killer Frost takes full control and she is just full on Killer Frost. They won't like split into two, you know. What mystery on Black Line do you want to see solve the most? Well, the only mystery to me that they have is the whole Gamby and that girl. I think that girl must be his daughter. But yeah. I'm from Georgia, not the state, a country in Caucasian. Isn't Georgia in Europe? I think Georgians play rugby. I usually see the Georgians in the like the rugby sevens and stuff like that. Could Pagey come back as a villain and become a Dishwanal meta? Saying Barry, you left me. I don't know what Dishwanal means. Anyway, probably not. I don't think we'll see Patty back. I think really Patty coming back depended on whether that actress's new show worked or not, and it worked. So like, I think her show's in like season 3 now. So I can't see her coming back, to be completely honest. Do you think Ronnie will ever come back? If it's like another multiverse version or something like that, or flashbacks, that's probably the only way. I don't think he'd come back as like a living person, you know, current day. Where's Tracy Brand? Your guess is as good as mine. I know she has, what, Fallout at the moment? But yeah. Do you think we'll see a lot of Wally doing speedster stuff on Legends? It'll be like, really, like... It's not going to be like seeing like as much as we do with Flash or something like that. It's going to be like when it's really needed, we'll see Wally using his speed. Like, I don't think we're really seeing him in the Kid Flash suit too often, if that makes sense. So he'll be using his speed in like little short bursts instead of like running around heaps, where he would actually need the Kid Flash suit. It'd be pretty cool though, if because Wally's on Legends, that's where you get maybe a Flash ring or something. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, I meant Delusional. Yeah, I was like Duswanal. I was like, what the hell's Duswanal mean? Delusional. Either way, yeah, I don't think she'd come back as a villain, to be completely honest. Thank you, MD Theories. Who do you think Wally? So Bolly. What do you think? Who do you think Wally will bond with most on the way, right besides Nate? Well, going by this week's episode, probably Zari, because they're both the two new metas, so I'm guessing that's where their connection will come from. Todd Helbing just announced that the fans haven't guessed the mystery girl correctly yet. Yeah, but you know what else, Nia Potter, you know what else they said last season? Todd Helbing said, as well as the cast, that no one had guessed who Savitar was yet. And he ended up being the guess that everyone had been saying since day one, which was Future Barry. So you can't trust the EPs with anything they say, because they'll look at something like, oh no, we've only seen the theories where they're guessing that she's Godspeed or something. It's like, no, they haven't guessed her. I was like, well, I'll guess this person. It's like, yeah, but you're looking at this like weird theory that like one person's saying. You're not looking at the one that everyone's saying, like Future Barry is Savitar, which is what ended up happening, and they denied it. And then, you know, they say that so you get off the idea of the main one, so it comes as a surprise. Obviously, he could be telling the truth, but you can't, based off track records in the past, you can't trust what he's saying. And the perfect example is last season when they said that no one had guessed who Savitar was, and it was like, and when it got revealed, everyone was like, what was this guy saying back then? What was it? Like, because Grant Gustin, I think it was Candice Patton, I want to say, or no, it might have been Danielle Panabaker. I think those two were getting interviewed, and they both said that it wasn't anyone that someone had guessed. Yeah, they're not going to say that, oh yeah, they picked it, because it'll be a spoiler. Exactly, we're the Girl Flash fan. They're not going to say, yeah, you picked it, because it's like, oh, well, now we know who it is. Of course they're going to deny it. But Doma Drum with the $2 super chat. How is Star Labs running? Joe only has a job. Look, who knows? Who absolutely knows? It's a bit ridiculous. What happened to Star Labs Museum? Who knows? Is it still going? You know, because it was meant to fail, but then they stopped that happening from that Future News report. So what's happening there? Is that still going? Is anyone running it? Do they have that hologram lady? Well, no, she wasn't a hologram lady. It was a hologram Cisco, wasn't it? That was walking around. I don't know. Dome, your guess is as good as mine, as well as anyone else in the chat. It's a bit confusing, to be completely honest. Yeah. Snickers or Mars bars? Probably Mars bars. There's a chocolate bar in Australia called a Picnic, which is like a Snickers but better. It's a more crispy. So I think if you want that, like, you go for a Mars bar if you want that stuff. Like, instead of a Snickers, which is just basically a Mars bar with nuts, you just go a Picnic bar. You can look up on Google if you want to. Just type in Picnic, as in PICNIC, chocolate bar, and that's what we have in Australia. I think they have them in England as well. I'm not too sure. I don't think they're in America though. I didn't see them in America while I was over there. What do you think Ripper's hiding about Ava? Well, episode, is it 16 of this season of Legends is called Ava, which is hinting that she is a android or like a robot or AI or some sort. So that could be what he's hiding. And I guess that's what it is, like Ava, Robot, that Will Smith movie, or something like that. And Ava in the past has acted a bit robotic of sorts, or a bit like more as if she was running off like a program or something. So yeah, we have Picnic in Georgia. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It might be like maybe an Australian European thing that it has. I don't think they're in America though. Do you think Ava is an anachronism? Probably not. Like, an anachronism is something that's displaced through time from its like relevancy in the past. It's usually like big things, you know. Doma Drama once again with the $2 super chat. Is Harry using HR's facial device to walk around? No, he's just wearing a hat. He's just wearing a hat. It's just basically a straight up baseball cap, and that's how he hides his identity. If you look at whenever Harry goes outside, he's wearing a hat. That's basically how he hides his identity. And that's basically it. Yeah. I don't really question it too much because the Flash has been a bit weird with that. But yeah, he just wears a hat, and that's basically how he hides his identity. Do you think Iris will keep her speed when Barry gets his back? No, because it's a DNA swap, so for Barry to get his speed back, he's going to have to get the dude that did the thing, or at least Team Flash might have to work up something where the DNA gets put back into Barry's body. So he'll get his speed back and Iris will lose it. It's just like, this episode is basically like almost like a Freaky Friday what if situation. Like, what if Iris was a speedster, you know? That's basically what the episode is. That's worse than Supergirl using glasses. Yeah, I know, it's stupid, but that's what I mean. Like, he just wears a hat and that's why he gets away with it. It's silly, I know, but what can you do? Frosty Flash vibes. Thank you very much. Is that like you got the Killer Frost, you got Flash, and then you got Vibe. I get your name. I get that reference. Is that really a reference? Anyway, with the $10 super chat, thank you very much for that. Do you ever wonder how exactly Cisco makes the suits? If he makes them, does that make Cisco some sort of costume designer? Like, does he sit in front of a sewing machine and make them? Good point, because you got to remember he makes the Arrow suits. Well, he makes Diggle's suit at least. Made Oliver's new suit, I think. I don't know if he made like Wild Dogs and stuff like that. I'm not too sure if he made them, or like Black Canaries and stuff. Or Dino Drakes, might I say. I'm not too sure if he made them. But yeah, I don't know. Did Cisco, when he went to university, did he do like the science degree and stuff like that, but then do like a side degree in like fashion design or something? Because he seems pretty handy with a sewing machine and getting those suits done. But honestly, I wouldn't mind an episode if someone's getting a new suit and we actually see Cisco making the suit. You know, we might get that this week of Flash, because he's going to fix up Iris's suit, even though, as I said, it is Iris's just jacket and she's just wearing some like black pants, like black leather pants. So it doesn't look like it's too in depth, but we might see Cisco making the suit or something. Because it's really done off screen, but I don't know, I wouldn't mind seeing Cisco make a suit, to be completely honest. I don't think... Yeah, he made a couple of things. Well, no, Barry made Oliver's mask, didn't he? Barry made Oliver's mask. Remember it in season 2? In like the episode 9 or something? He gives it to Oliver as a present to hide his identity, so he stops using like the grease paint or whatever it is. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind seeing Cisco make the suits, because he makes quite a lot. He's making one at least. He's making at least 1 or 2 every single season. But thank you very much for that Frosty Flash vibes with the super chat. Hopefully I was able to answer that question to the best of my ability. Naruto 0076 with the $5 super chat. Could the future newspaper just relate to the original timeline? Yeah, no, because that's one thing. Because one thing that needs to be remembered is that things in the past, if something's changed, it does take a while to affect the future, as we've seen on Legends. But with that future newspaper with Iris's name on there, that's another example of they need to move towards that storyline, because we're running out of time. We're running out of time for it to be realistic that Iris would leave that job, then come back to it, and then build herself up to a point where she's getting front page news, like she's got the byline and stuff. So they need to work up to that point, you know. Like, people have asked me, like, how would they incorporate Iris's storyline with the Flash while removing her out of Team Flash? And I was like, it's simple. Do what they do in the comics, and you have Iris at the scene, you know, at the scene of the crime, trying to get news and trying to get a word from the cop or something like that, and the Flash would be there, and that's how you see them interacting. It's not hard. Like, they need to move, like, I know it's like beating a dead horse by saying it, but they need to move Iris into that reporting storyline as soon as they can. Just because it's getting more and more unbelievable that, like, the more and more they leave her, the more and more it gets unbelievable that she would reach that point in 4 years' time, I guess, or 5 years' time, that she would have that byline. You know what I mean? Anyway. But yeah, I don't think that... It does take time for things to affect the future, but I think it's been so long since we saw that future newspaper that it should have changed by now if Iris was never going to get to that point. But yeah, but Sam with the $5 super chat is, once again... By the way, if Eric gets the interview, tell him to check all the tweets I overloaded you with regarding that on Twitter, so he knows all about the idea. Would I get some tweets now, I'm guessing? What tweets were they, Sam? Were they the Lady Shiva ones? Let me know. Are you talking about the Lady Shiva ones? You'll probably be better at writing Iris than the Flash writers. Well, Iris isn't a hard character to write, that's why it surprises me that they stuff it up so much. That's why I'm shocked that they can't do good work with her, because she's not a hard character to write. It's fairly easy to incorporate her into without having her in Team Flash. It's easy to incorporate her with the Flash while also giving her own stuff. Like, we can spend, okay, if you take away commercials, an average Flash episode is, well, like 42, 45 minutes, depending on like the episode. You could easily give like 5 to 7 minutes of every single episode to Iris, and it wouldn't be, and you just fit it in like in the middle of the episode, or it could be like an opening scene or an ending scene with Iris at Central City Picture News, is that what it's called, CCPN, doing her thing, doing her reporting thing. But then you can mix her in, like, if the you know, it's if there's a crime scene or something and either Barry's there or there's a crime scene and the Flash shows up to stop it, like a bank robbery or something, you can have Iris there reporting, you know, writing down notes, getting interviews and stuff like that. It's not hard to incorporate her into the season, which is that's why I'm so surprised that they struggled to incorporate her. But yeah, it's a bit of a shock. But guys, we've actually been streaming for an hour and 10 minutes. Time has flown. I can't believe it's already been an hour and 10 minutes since I started this stream, to be completely honest. So I'm actually going to wrap up the stream. Okay, yeah, Samuel talking about the Lady Shiva. Okay, sweet. I wasn't too sure. So, but guys, I'm going to actually wrap up the stream. Will Linda Park ever come back? Probably not. She's too old for Wally anyway. I saw West Allen shippers saying like, oh, now we need Wally and Linda to get together. And I was like, Linda's a bit too old for Wally, I think, at this point. Yeah, anyway. Doma Drama, shouldn't Gideon know all about DeVoe, how to stop? Yeah, but I think that's why they might have got Gideon out of it. Worked it out just because she's basically... Like, we say Iris is Google on the show, but, like, Gideon is literally Google for, like, Flash and dealing with problems. So, they would, sort of need to work her out of the show. Yeah. Unfortunately. But, yeah, guys, I have to end the stream now because I actually have to go do some other stuff before I come back to watch Legends. So, as only saying, like, because I'm in a different time zone... Basically, my morning is so compressed that I had to like squeeze this in and I have to go do some other stuff, then come back home and do it. So I can't stream any longer, but I will probably stream in, what, 2 or 3 days time, probably, because Arrow's not on this week. So I might stream like around the time Arrow might be on that day. So look out for that on that day. But thanks for everyone that tuned in. Thanks for everyone that super chatted and supported the stream through that, and everyone that just watched and commented in the stream as well. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, stay tuned for my Legends video later on today. And we are The Flash. Goodbye.